Welcome back to Lakers News Fan Report, where we bring you the latest and most exciting sports news every single day. And trust me when I say you're going to want to stay locked in for this one, because something is happening behind the scenes in Los Angeles. Something big. A move that, if it actually goes down, could send shockwaves through the entire NBA landscape. And no, we're not talking about another minimum deal or a quiet rotation fix. We're talking about a blockbuster, possibly the biggest move since LeBron first put on the purple and gold. Now, before we get to the part that's blowing up group chats and online forums across the league, let's start with what's already happened. The Lakers, after a frustratingly quiet trade deadline, just made a quick pivot following the collapse of negotiations with Charlotte that would have brought in Mark Williams, a promising, young, defensive-minded big man that many thought would solve LA's frontcourt problems. But when that deal fell through, the front office had to act fast. And they did. They scooped up veteran center Alex Len, recently waived by the Wizards. Solid size, decent rim protection, and a guy who can give you 10 to 15 hardworking minutes a night. It's a respectable move. But let's be honest, no one's throwing a parade for Alex Len. He's a stopgap, a bend, and that's exactly what has fans and insiders buzzing. Because the Lakers didn't just make that move to survive. They made it to buy time. Buy time for something bigger. And over the past 48 hours, rumors have started to gain serious traction. There are whispers now, growing louder by the hour, that Los Angeles is preparing to go all in. And the name that keeps popping up is none other than Lauri Markkanen. Yes, that Lauri Markkanen. The 7-footer from Finland who's been quietly turning into one of the most efficient, versatile forwards in the game. A guy who can stretch the floor, post up, defend multiple positions, and put up 25-plus on any given night. Last season with Utah, he was a revelation, an all-star, a franchise centerpiece. But now, league insiders are reporting that the Jazz, deep in a rebuild and flush with draft capital, might actually be open to moving him for the right offer. And here's where it gets crazy. According to several sources close to the Lakers front office, Rob Pelinka and his team have been quietly working the numbers. And what's being talked about isn't just a trade. It's a long-term plan. The Lakers are reportedly exploring a way to bring Markkanen in and lock him up with a massive contract extension. We're talking $238 million over 5 years. That's right, $238 million. The kind of deal that doesn't just say we believe in you. It says we're building around you. And the timing couldn't be more perfect. Because this summer, the Lakers are expected to make another seismic move. Luka Doncic. The name that won't go away. League executives have been monitoring his situation in Dallas for over a year now. And with the Mavericks once again falling short of expectations, many are starting to believe that a divorce could be inevitable. The Lakers have quietly been putting pieces in place, creating flexibility, keeping key assets, and if Luka does ask out, Los Angeles will be on the short list of teams ready to pounce. So now imagine this. LeBron James still playing at an elite level and hungry for one more ring. Luka Doncic, the generational playmaker and walking triple-double. And Lauri Markkanen, the perfect third piece, a floor-spacing 7-foot scoring machine who can play the 4 or the 5. That's not just a trio. That's a nightmare for opposing defenses. That's one of the most talented offensive lineups the league has ever seen. And don't think for a second this is all just fantasy. Some insiders are calling this scenario the Lakers' real plan, a stealth rebuild within the LeBron era. A transition from King James twilight into a new era of superstars, with Lauri and Luka at the center of it all. And here's where it gets even more interesting. The Lakers still have room to make another addition right now from the buyout market. They just waived Christian Wood to make room for Alex Len, but with a bit more roster reshuffling, they could easily open up one more spot. That gives them options. It gives them leverage. And it gives them the ability to show potential stars that LA isn't waiting for the future, they're acting now. Every move they make from here on out could be another piece to this puzzle. Fans are already speculating. Social media is on fire with mock lineups. Sportsbooks like NoviBet are even offering odds on whether Markkanen or Doncic will be in a Lakers jersey by the end of next season. And you know what? The odds are starting to shift. People are starting to believe. Because when the Lakers go quiet, that's usually when they're planning something massive. And the Markkanen news? That could just be the beginning. Sources also suggest that Markkanen himself is intrigued by the idea of joining the Lakers. It's not just about the money. It's the opportunity to play meaningful basketball on the biggest stage alongside future Hall of Famers. For a guy who's spent years grinding in smaller markets, that spotlight could be impossible to resist. The internal pitch to Markkanen reportedly includes not just a starting role, but the keys to the offense once LeBron retires. That's right, LA wants Lauri to be the bridge. The post-LeBron face of the franchise. A stretch forward with superstar potential who can carry the torch into the next decade. And as crazy as that sounds, it's not without precedent. Think back to how the Lakers once positioned themselves for Anthony Davis while LeBron was still peaking. That wasn't just about winning now, it was about what comes next. And this feels like that all over again. Meanwhile, Luka's situation in Dallas continues to deteriorate. After another first-round flameout, tensions are reportedly running high in the Mavericks front office. The whispers about his frustration with the roster, the coaching staff, and the organization's direction are growing louder by the day. If Doncic does request a trade, don't be surprised if his camp, specifically his agent, pushes hard for Los Angeles. The market, the branding opportunities, the basketball fit, it checks every box. Luka grew up idolizing Kobe Bryant. Playing in the same jersey? That's not just poetic, it's powerful. And while acquiring both Luka and Lauri might sound like a fantasy, the math surprisingly works. If the Lakers can move off a few contracts, namely D'Angelo Russell and Rui Hachimura, they'll have the flexibility to absorb one superstar and sign the other long-term. Of course, it won't come cheap. The Jazz will want multiple unprotected first-round picks from Markkanen. And the Mavericks? They want at least 2 young assets and draft capital in return for Luka. But the Lakers have been quietly stockpiling just enough to make those calls without gutting their entire core. Austin Reeves, for example, could be the swing piece in any of these deals. Teams love his contract, his effort, and his upside. But would the Lakers really move him? That depends on how committed they are to this super team vision and whether they see him as a future star or a valuable trade chip. Another wild card in all this? Anthony Davis. While there's no indication he wants out, his fit alongside Markkanen would raise some questions. Both play best at the 4. And if Luka enters the equation, someone will have to sacrifice touches. Could AD become the next big name moved if this plan evolves? Or maybe not. Some insiders believe the Lakers are envisioning a lineup with Davis at the 5, Lauri at the 4, LeBron at the 3, Luka at the 1, and a shooter at the 2. That's not just big. It's versatile, switchable, and offensively devastating. A positionless lineup for the modern NBA. Even LeBron's reaction to these rumors is telling. While he hasn't commented publicly, he's been liking tweets and following certain players on Instagram. Coincidence? Maybe. But in the LeBron era, social media breadcrumbs often hint at bigger moves. Behind closed doors, the players reportedly love the idea. Veteran voices in the locker room are pushing the front office to make bold moves. The belief is that the West is wide open, and with the right reinforcements, the Lakers could make a deep run, even this season. And with the Clippers' future in flux, the Warriors aging out, and Denver battling injuries, the Lakers smell opportunity. The window is still open, but just barely. Which is why every move matters. Every signing, every trade, every piece of intel leaking to the press, it's all part of a high-stakes game. In fact, one assistant coach from an opposing Western Conference team told a reporter anonymously that a lineup featuring LeBron, Luka, and Lauri would be unfair. Not because of raw talent, but because of the basketball IQ on the floor. You'd have 3 guys who see the game like a chessboard, the coach said. It would be impossible to game plan against. And that's where things get even more strategic. Because bringing in Markkanen doesn't just help you this year. It sets the tone for how the Lakers want to play in the post-LeBron era. Fast-paced, unselfish, positionless basketball. The kind that doesn't just win games, but attracts more talent. Speaking of which, don't be surprised if other stars start sniffing around once the smoke clears. We've already heard whispers that certain agents are advising their clients to watch the Lakers. The brand, the city, the talent, it's still one of the most attractive destinations in all of sports. Internally, this pivot to Lauri and Luka is also a sign that the front office is no longer interested in band-aids. They're done wasting time on aging stars or one-year rentals. The goal is sustainability. That means building around guys in their mid-20s who can dominate now and 5 years from now. And look, no one's saying this is a guaranteed championship. Chemistry takes time. Depth still matters. Injuries can derail even the most stacked rosters. But what this does is swing the pendulum. It puts pressure on the rest of the league to react. And that alone is a win in today's NBA. You can already feel the ripple effects. Suddenly, other contenders are hesitant to make mid-level moves. They're watching to see if the Lakers pull the trigger first. Why? Because no one wants to commit big money or picks to a player who might be redundant once LA reshapes the balance of power. And here's another angle to consider: draft night. The Lakers still hold their 2025 pick, and while that's not a huge asset in a vacuum, it becomes massive if they're dangling it in a blockbuster. Don't be shocked if they package that with a sign-in trade this summer to create even more flexibility. That's why this offseason could end up being the most pivotal in Lakers history. Bigger than the LeBron signing. Bigger than the Anthony Davis trade. Because this time it's not about one guy, it's about crafting a new dynasty from scratch, while the old one is still standing. The narrative shift is already happening in the media. A week ago, national pundits were calling the Lakers cooked. Now they're scrambling to figure out how LA could pull this off. That's what happens when Rob Pelinka starts making quiet phone calls that turn into front-page headlines. And fans? They're ready. You can feel it. Jersey mock-ups of Markkanen in purple and gold are already trending on Twitter. Custom Doncic edits are making their rounds on Instagram Reels. This isn't just hype, it's hope. And after years of inconsistency, Lakers Nation is hungry for that again. It's worth remembering that moves like this don't come around often. Stars of Markkanen's caliber rarely hit the trade market in their prime. And Doncic, he's a once-in-a-generation talent. If LA even has a 10% chance of landing him, they have to be all in. No hesitation. No regrets. Behind the scenes, the front office reportedly has multiple trade scenarios ready to go. Some involve 3-team deals. Others hinge on draft night movement. But the point is, this isn't just talk. The Lakers are preparing for every possible angle, and they're ready to strike the moment a door opens. One executive even described Pelinka's approach as calculated aggression. He's not chasing pipe dreams. He's identifying vulnerable franchises and waiting for leverage to swing in his favor. That's how the Davis deal happened. That's how this one could unfold too. And before anyone panics, this wouldn't be a rebuild. This would be a reconfiguration. The kind of chess move that maximizes everyone's prime window. LeBron gets his best shot at ring number 5. Luka gets the big market spotlight he's built for. And the Lakers get a long-term core with no ceiling. Of course, none of this happens in a vacuum. The Clippers are watching. The Warriors are watching. Even the Suns, who thought they had formed the next great big three, are now second-guessing their future. That's the kind of pressure a team like the Lakers can generate with a single power move. One insider even pointed out that the Lakers' sudden front office activity feels eerily similar to 2019. Back then, it was Anthony Davis. Today, it might be Lauri. And just like in 2019, it's the silence that's loudest. The lack of leaks. The rumors no one wants to confirm. That's usually a sign something real is brewing. And let's not forget the financial side. The Lakers have been quietly preparing for a new cap environment. With a new CBA kicking in, contract structure and tax planning are more important than ever. That's why locking Markkanen into a 5-year extension now, before the next star wave hits, could end up being a genius move. There's also the continuity factor. Markkanen isn't a 1-year rental like some of the names that have passed through LA recently. He's a guy you build with, not just around. His age, skill set, and demeanor all scream long-term fit. That kind of stability is rare in today's NBA. What makes this even more wild is that Utah doesn't need to trade him. Which means if the Lakers are even in the room for discussions, they've already made a compelling case. They're either offering an aggressive haul of picks, or they've identified a 3-team structure that gives the Jazz exactly what they want. And if you're wondering why the Lakers are willing to bet this big on Lauri, just look at the numbers. His true shooting percentage, his pick-and-pop efficiency, his ability to play both ends. He's not just another stretch 4. He's a modern star, tailor-made for today's game. Meanwhile, Luka Doncic continues to send subtle signals. From his body language on the court to his cryptic post-game comments, it's clear he's frustrated. If Dallas fails to add a second star this offseason, Insiders say it could be the final straw, and that's when LA pounces. But what do you think about all of this? Is Lauri Markkanen really the missing piece the Lakers have been waiting for? Is this a setup for the most dangerous trio in the NBA, LeBron, Luka, and Lauri? Or are the Lakers once again chasing stars while ignoring the real flaws in their roster? Personally, I'm fired up. The thought of watching Doncic throwing no-look dimes to Markkanen on the wing while LeBron bulldozes his way through defenders? That's a Showtime sequel I'd buy season tickets for. And honestly, if LA pulls this off, we might be witnessing the birth of another dynasty. I can't wait to read your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to Lakers News Fan Report, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss an update. Because if this Lauri Markkanen deal goes through, you're going to want to be the first to know.